All right, ladies, welcome to our team meeting for June 4th. Y'all, I cannot believe it's June. I'm so excited that it is officially Summit Month, that I get to see some of you guys. I'm just really excited. I'm not going to lie, I've been checking the back office. You guys are starting the month strong, so that is really exciting to watch. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a call on handling objections. I think this is something we can always work on. I'm not gonna lie, I love the book, Get Over Your Damn Self, and so you will, if you've read that, you will definitely pull some of the pieces of that from my objections call that I'm getting ready to do. But I'm gonna go over it, and then at the end, I figured I would just leave time for you guys to be able to kind of pick my brain if there's any objections that I didn't talk about or any that have like stumped you lately. I will totally walk you through how I would handle it personally. So I am going to share my screen. Hold on. I always have to figure out the best way to do this. Share screen. Okay, so I'm not gonna pull. Come on, get bigger. Okay, so, and let me get my thing. Okay. We're gonna talk about objections, and basically, I just want you all to know, like, what are objections? So, the first thing I want you to know is that everybody gets objections. I don't care whether you are a brand new coach or whether you have been a coach for 4 years. Objections are something you're going to encounter at some point if you haven't already. And just because like, you coach longer doesn't mean you don't get them. What that typically means is that you just become more comfortable and confident over time in handling them. Hold on a second. I forgot to mute you guys, maybe. Might be. Hold on a second.
Is Lucy asleep?
Okay. All right. Is that over time, you become more confident in handling those objections. And eventually, like, there's only but so many objections that you're going to hear. Eventually, you're going to have heard them all. Can you guys see the PowerPoint okay? Yeah, okay. So basically, if you guys get anything out of tonight, what I want most is that you stop fearing objections and you embrace them. Because when you think about this, when people are giving you objections, they're giving you a pathway to discuss things further. They're not saying hell no, they're not like ignoring you. And we've all had those messages, right? Where we have been talking to people for hours or days or months, and then you just get crickets. They're not doing that, right? So that's a win. They are giving you a chance to communicate, to dig deeper, to get to know them better, and give them the opportunity to see the value you can offer them. If they're asking questions, if they're giving you hesitations, that's a good sign. And on top of that, these objections are a really good training opportunity. I can honestly say to almost all of my coaches that, like, think about the objections you had when you first started, and then think about how I helped you to overcome them. One, this is a good training opportunity to show your challenger, your future challenger, future coach, that we're all going to get objections. So it's something you can pull back up to them one day and be like, remember when you said blah, blah, blah. And you're already giving them the tools to be able to respond to them. So I'm always thinking when I'm getting my challengers started, like, they're going to be my coaches one day. So why not start preparing them now by handling their objections in a positive way? And honestly, the best thing about all of this is that all objections are rooted in like a handful of areas. There's not a lot of like brand new things that you're going to have to continuously try to figure out with objections. So once you get confident and comfortable handling Shakeology and cost and time, like, there's not much more that you're going to get, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to share some basic tips with you guys before I go into more details about like specific objections. So what I need you to know is that confidence is everything. And I know you guys hear me talk about this all the time, but if you love Shakeology, if you love our programs, if you love coaching, if Shakeology has helped change your life in some way, if our programs have given you an amazing transformation, if coaching has allowed you to, have a vacation or buy organic groceries or something like that, that is going to come through in your post if you truly believe that they're amazing. You have to be confident in knowing that when you present a challenge pack, it is truly the best deal for a gift to change that person's life. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, you're giving them all the tools they need to be successful, and you're giving it to them in the cheapest bargain. You could be out here for money and tell them they have to buy Shakeology separate and they have to do this separate and then they have to get this. You're not doing that. Like, when people say they don't want to feel icky, have you ever added up everything in your cart for the value that they get? You could easily be icky and try to get someone to buy all of those things separate. Would most people sign up? Probably not, but you could do that and be icky and just be after people's money. You could be icky and never present the coaching opportunity to save someone some money because you want to continue getting their commission every month. Those things are icky. Offering them like the best solution and the cheapest way to do it is not icky. So when you really believe those things and you have confidence that they are the answer, that's going to exude through your messages. But truly, like, it all starts with your confidence. You have to believe in everything that we have to offer. And when I say that, I don't use everything. There are programs that I've done that I don't love. I'm never going to do PIO again unless when I'm pregnant I have to or something. Like, I'm not a huge fan of it, not a huge fan of 22-minute hardcore. I don't drink creatine. Like, there are things we offer that I don't use myself, but I have enough belief and confidence in Beachbody as a whole and what we do offer that I truly know there is something out there to help everybody. So confidence is key. Another thing, once you start hearing objections, it's really important to keep in mind not to become defensive. And I think this is really, really hard at times because you have to keep in mind that them handing you that objection is giving you an opportunity to have a conversation with them, to find out about their fears, find out more about who they are. Their hesitations tell you a ton about them, and to give you a chance to dig deeper. It's so easy to become defensive of something that you love. I will be the first to admit when I hear people say, like, Beachbody is a scam or things like that, I find myself being, like, ready to pounce. But what's that going to do, right? Like, if we do something like that, if we argue or we get really defensive, it's not going to show that person that we care or, like, convince them to join us. It's only going to turn them off. So really taking a step back and reminding yourself that these people have probably been like you. And if you're anything like me, you've tried and failed 1,000 times before you found Beachbody. And they're scared to throw their money away and do it again. They are bombarded by weight loss, like, fads and everything when they are on their social media. It makes them nervous to, like, trust in you, trust in this opportunity to spend the money to do it again. It's our job to educate them on why this time is going to be different. Remember, you are not here to convince them to join you. As soon as you find yourself going there in convincing mode where you're like, but we're so awesome because of this and da-da-da-da-da, you got to stop. I have even told people, like, I have gotten to a point where I've heard the same objections over and over again, and I'm like, I'm not here to try and convince you to do anything. I don't ever want to try and sell anything to you. Like, that is not my job. It's my job to help you, and that's it. I run groups every month, and I will be here doing those whenever you're ready. Because you just, at some point, you just have to hit that point where you're like, I'm trying to convince them, and neither one of us is going to win this. Because even if you do convince them, they're not going to be all in. They probably will end up, like, returning it, or they just, they're not going to see results because they didn't come to that decision themselves that they were ready. When answering an objection is much different than trying to convince them and like get into that mode. So just something to keep in mind. And when I am upfront with people and I say like, I am not here to try to do that, a lot of them respect that. And when you set that boundary, like, listen, girl, I'm going to be doing me regardless. Like, I'm going to keep running my groups. I'm going to keep seeing results. When you're ready, like, that's on you. A lot of people respect that and respond very well. So the next one, and the counselor in me comes out. I was talking with Whitney about this yesterday, how I find counseling a lot plays roles, but something that I have found that really works and just kind of comes naturally with my counseling lingo is using I feel statements. They really help you show someone that you can empathize with their hesitation. Meeting people where they are at is huge. Showing them you were there before, or you were worried about something similar, not only makes you human, but it makes them more likely to trust you. And if you haven't experienced the same situation, let's say this person gives you a hesitation that you didn't experience yourself, but one of your challengers did, you can talk with them about how that person overcame it. Or you see one of our coaches in our team that reminds you a lot of this girl you're talking to, and she's talking about how she can't do it because she commutes and does this and that. Like, talk about how she made it work. Like, you have such a pool to pull from. You can post like in our team page, I'm hearing this objection. Like, does anyone have any experience with this? I'm not really sure how to help her. I'm not a mom yet. Like, so when I hear objections from moms talking about how busy they are and stuff, I'm always having to, pull from my challengers that are moms, my coaches that are moms. So, I understand, for example, like someone saying they don't have enough time. I understand how you feel about not having time. I felt the same way when I first started. I always talk about how I was in grad school working 3 jobs and did not have time. So 25 minutes is what sold me. And so then I'll talk with them about how all of our programs are, they have the option to do short ones that are like 30 minutes or less. They don't have to leave their house. Like, I tell them what sold me about not having time was the fact that I can wake up and work out in my underwear without ever having to change or drive, and then not have to shower and get back home and then get to work, like all of this stuff. And so I'll share that experience with them because that's what sold me on it. Just remember, making yourself real and relatable, allow them to hear how you worked through it. You guys, I guarantee everyone on this call had some sort of objection before they either joined, whether it was with Shakeology, whether it was a challenge group, whether it was for coaching. 99% of you probably, this was not like a quick decision that you were like, oh yeah, I want to do that thing. So think about the hesitations you had and share them. Like, how did you overcome them? And even like thinking about sharing stuff like this on social media, and I'm not saying be like, I was so hesitant, blah, 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 blah. Like, creating a post out of, before I signed up to coach, I really doubted that I had enough time to do this, or, stuff like that. You can talk about that on your social media, and it starts answering those objections before you even get them. And it appeals to people who have similar situations to you, similar objections. So I always share, I show them I understand, I meet them where they're at, and then I offer my solution to it. And next, selling you, selling the group, selling our team. I want to remind you that people can legit buy these programs for anywhere. They can go on Amazon, they can go to a yard sale, they can borrow it from their friend. What you have to show them is the value and why working with you is the right choice, why being in one of your groups is going to change their life, and why being a part of our Fit Fam is a freaking game changer. You're not trying to sell Shakeology, etc. You're not trying to sell a program. You are essentially selling you. And that takes us back to your social media, like I was just saying, how you're presenting yourself, and all of that, how you're presenting the different things that you're doing. But all of these things really tie in together. When I talk with people about my groups, I sell the hell out of it. I'm not selling me even necessarily. I am selling that I'm their coach and I'm going to help them. But you guys, these groups changed my life. And I let them know that without the support, that without the coach to help me, without a structured meal plan and structured like fitness routine, that I had never been able to stick to anything before, that I had tried so many workouts. I had tried to go to the gym. I had tried to even work out at my free gym at my apartment complex. I had tried different diets, but nothing stuck until I found this group with women from all around the world that supported me more than I had ever been supported before. And sharing that is powerful. Like, I am showing them why I am valuable to them and why my groups are valuable. Sure, you can go on Amazon and get it a little cheaper. Sure, you can do this, but you don't get me and you don't get my groups, and that's where the magic happens. And really how those together are where the magic happens. So, you know, just think about like why this worked for you when other things hadn't, what changed, what was different. And when you can feel that excitement and how much you believe that like Beachbody was the missing piece, it wasn't a coincidence that when I started working out on this day, it worked. And if I would have been at the gym versus working out at home, it worked. Like, you have to believe that this was the answer for you. And when you can, you're going to convey that in your messages. So along with sharing the value of what they get with you and your groups, I share the value that they're going to get in a challenge pack. Like, and so many of you guys have probably seen this, and I'll show it on in 2 more slides, but I legit break down everything that they are going to get from me. I don't say like, oh, when you join my group, you're going to get a month of Shakeology and access to our programs. No. I say when when you sign up, you get access for a year to all of our programs, over 900 workouts, and new ones are added weekly. You get all of our meal plans, which have different, meal plans for different styles for your goals. I literally break down everything down to the water bottle that they're going to get. All the tools with 2B Mindset. I have been breaking down the 41 videos, the water bottle, the tracker. Like, I want to spell it out so simply for people that when they see the list and then they see the price, I get the response so many times from people that they're like, holy camole, I thought you were going to say that was going to be like $500 or like $200 a month or something. And they cannot believe the value in it, and how inexpensive it is. And you guys, part of that is that I can't believe how inexpensive it is, right? Like, I have talked about this a million times. When I signed up, a challenge pack was $205 for one program. These people get every single program, plus all of our bonus workouts, plus like access to Fixate and all of this stuff that I didn't have on my journey. And they pay $160 one time. That breaks down to like $13 a month, right? 13, 11, around there. Like less than $14 a month. That's crazy. One of my challengers today had been keeping her gym membership with me. She does the workouts at home, but she's just kept the gym membership as like a safety net. She told me today that because of Lift 4 coming out, and she's just so excited that she's finally canceled her gym membership. She pays $75 a month for her gym membership for herself, for one person. You guys, like, what we have to offer is ridiculous for people. And when we can see that and feel that, like, they're going to see the value in it too. And even think about this, like, especially with the BOD Challenge Pack, when they get over 800 workouts, they get all of that. Essentially, when you subtract Shakeology from that purchase, they're getting a year's access to all of our programs, plus all of the new ones, plus all of the meal plans for $30 if you were to subtract Shakeology from the $160. Bananas. So my next basic tip is to plan ahead. So remember, we're not trying to convince them. Having something, like, eventually you're going to hit a spot in that conversation where you're just going to have to put up a boundary and stop trying to convince them, stop trying to overcome an objection, have something else to invite them to. So whether it's a free ongoing group that you run for, people to kind of see what it's about, whether it's a 2-week free trial, whether it's a free 5-day group, or whether it's your next group, establish that boundary, establish that posture, put the ball in their court, show them that you're going to continue to show up with or without them. You're going to continue to win. You're going to continue to work your business because them purchasing a challenge bag, them signing up for your group does not make or break your business. And so I'll say something like I said earlier, I totally understand if you're not ready to get started on your health and fitness journey right now or goals right now. I start my groups the first Monday of every month. So whenever you're ready, I'll be here. So I'll say something like that. And then even sometimes I will ask them, like, if it's okay with you, I can follow up. So if they say something and I'll say, you know, if it's okay with you, I'll follow up with you in 2 weeks for my July group. And we'll see if you're ready to join then. You have to think, like, if they're wasting your time going through the same objections over and over and over again, right then is probably not the right time for them to get started, or they need some tough love to help push them one way or the other. But regardless, you need to quit wasting your time. So have something to invite them to, move on, and follow up, because the power is in the follow-up. As you guys know, I preach. Okay. Common objections for challenge packs that I see. These are common ones that I get, so I'm just going to kind of walk you through how I respond to them. First things first, so let me go through the common objections. I want the program, or I want Beachbody on Demand. I don't want the Shakeology. The shake I'm drinking is just like Shakeology. Shakeology is too expensive. I don't have time to work out. These are some like common ones that either I have heard or I have had my coaches tell me that they've heard. So first things first, I think the most important thing to remember, and we talked about this on our Diamond coffee chat for the Diamond training on Saturday morning, I don't ever present an option that is not the challenge pack up front. And that's for a multitude of reasons. I used to, and I never hit Success Club. And then Jess Dukes looked at me one day and in person at Summit, my first Summit, and she goes, if you present somebody like a cheaper option, they're always going to take the cheaper option. They're never going to like choose to sign up for the challenge pack. Why would they? And so from that point forward, I never once then said like, oh, you can get the program or you can get the challenge pack. When people ask me what my groups entail, I tell them like to get access to all of my ladies sign up with the All Access Pass, Beachbody on Demand. I'm really having trouble switching that like talk back and forth because they said not to call Beachbody on Demand All Access Pass anymore. And I'm having trouble with that lingo because that's what it was called for so long. But I always present it as like, this is what it takes to be in my group. So with these, I want the program, not the Shakeology. So I will walk you through exactly how I handle these. Let me do that actually. And then, yeah, I think that would be helpful. So let me do that first. So this is what I send my girls, or I send somebody once we've talked about a little bit about like what my groups entail and things like that. And they're like, so how much is it? Like, what do I have to purchase? This is word for word. I have this saved in my notes. Like, this is what I send them. And I normally send them up till prizes. And then once they say, oh, awesome, like that sounds great, that sounds right up my alley, like how much is it? I'll send the price part. I tend not to send the price part first, just because if someone does have a question or does have an objection, I don't want them to see the price and then just not respond to me. So I send this, I get them hooked, and then I talk about the price. And, like I said, once you show them the value, I don't get price objections very much. But I think a huge part of that is my confidence with presenting this. You guys, I list everything. For a year, you get access to stream all of our workouts, old, current, and the new ones that come out. You don't even have to wait. You get immediate access and pay nothing extra. Plus, there are extra workouts added weekly that aren't even a part of programs, over 800 and more added monthly. You will also get all of our meal plans, a set of portion control containers, and there's a cooking show with all meal plan approved foods. New ones are added each week, which is so helpful. You will get a shaker cup, 30 days of Shake-O, me as your coach to help you every step of the way, and lifetime access to my monthly groups with the chance to win fun prizes. And if they have asked about something specifically prior, I will add that in here, like, you'll also get say they were asking about meal planning, I will talk with them about how they'll get like recipes. I might add that stuff in if that was a specific thing that they told me about. Okay, so next is an actual like response to an objection from somebody who said that she had a shake that was just like Shakeology. And I like this response because I really touch on a lot of those objections. So I don't have a blanket script that I send people because, like I said, you know, I talk to people, I find out more about them. So I'm asking questions and things like that. So I don't have something I can just copy and paste to every person for script, you know, for objections, because they should be personalized specifically to what they're dealing with. And because I really prefer to use voice memos, especially when I'm talking through objections, because I think when someone can hear the how genuine your voice is, it really, really helps. But say I have someone who is coming at me with an objection that's similar to someone I talked to last week, I will definitely go and just save myself some time and, you know, take pieces of it. But so this was for someone, as far as Shakeology goes, I do require it to be in my group initially. I honestly want to help all of my ladies get the best results possible. And if I only give you a program, that really is just a crutch. I don't require you to continue it after the first month. You are legit able to cancel it at any time and you will still have access to my groups. But for the first 30 days, I really want to make sure you have all the tools I can provide to ensure you reach those goals you shared with me. And where I put those goals you shared with me, those are where I would put their specific goals. Like I want to help you get into that wedding dress, or, you know, feel more confident on the beach this summer, blah, blah, blah. And that includes Shakeology. I will be honest, again, and I'm always poking fun at myself so people can like laugh and smile and know that I'm human. When I first started these programs, I was sure I could find something else out there like it. I did so much research, tried several different things, and could never find anything even remotely comparable. It's not just a protein shake. It has over 70 vitamins in it, pre and probiotics, digestive enzymes, and just so much amazingness. It replaces my multivitamin, all the digestive meds I was on, and since I started drinking it, I haven't been sick one time. Hello, money saved on prescription and doctor's visits. But really, once I gave it a go and saw the increased energy it gave me, how it helped me fight cravings, and over time, I realized it just made me healthier all around, I was hooked. And then I'll even add, like, when you break it down, with this package, you're essentially getting to try it for $2 a day. And I don't know about you, but I would spend way more than $2 a day on a meal, let alone a healthy one. So you can see where I'm comparing it to other shakes, where I am talking about the value in it, where I am talking about the cost of it. It saves me on not buying vitamins and not like my doctor's visits and all of those things. And it's $2. Like, if you were just to break down Beachbody On Demand and subtract like the $100 for Beachbody On Demand, Shakeology comes out to $60. They're getting to try it for $2 a day. Like, that's cheaper than anything I order from Starbucks. Like, people can afford that, right? But sometimes you just have to break it down and let them see the numbers for it. Okay. And then common objections about coaching. So not enough time is something we hear a lot. And I will just say, like, if you add your potential coaches to like happy hours and stuff, we touch on like all of these. But when people tell me they don't have enough time, I talk about how when I first started, you know, I was working multiple jobs and I just found that I was spending like 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there. Or I will talk, if I know someone on our team that's comparable to their life, I will share their experiences. Like, totally understand. I didn't think I had enough time either. Or I totally understand. I hear what you're saying. Like, most of my girls don't think they have enough time to do this. But what you find is, like, they can wake up 30 minutes earlier, or they can answer, you know, send voice memos while they're driving to and from work and things like that. I can't be successful. I talk about how, like, I share my personal experiences. And even if you don't feel like you're super successful, you have some sort of success that they don't. Like, whether you earned a $40 paycheck and that helped you buy groceries, or whether you earned a $14 cycle bonus and that paid for your, like, coach monthly fee, like, you have seen some sort of success. And you can share how, like, you probably had worries that you could be successful on this. Like, how have you seen success? Is the discount worth it? I used to get that a lot. I don't anymore. And I used to get it a lot when people with On Demand also got a discount on anything they ordered. Now that they don't anymore, it's a little bit easier. But I will legit add everything to share a cart. Share a cart is so nice to be able to do this. Add everything to share a cart, and I'll send them like a screenshot, or I'll do something to show them what's in there, and I'll show them the price difference. You guys, even if you're saving someone 10, 15, 20 bucks a month, that adds up if they're wanting to continue their journey. And the fact that they can cancel at any time is something I always fall back on. Like, you know, if you are a couple months into coaching and figure out that you don't think the discount is worth it, you can cancel for free, like with no obligations. I'm not a salesperson. Awesome. We don't want you to be a salesperson. But really what I a lot of times ask my girls, if I hear this, like, I'm not a salesperson, and I say, great. Like, honestly, do you think I'm a salesperson? Like, when you look at my social media, do you get that icky feeling? And 99.9% of the time, they say no. Actually, I don't think I've ever had anyone say yes, but they say no. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm going to teach you to do exactly what I do. Like, this is about sharing your journey, not selling. Like, all we want you to do is get results and share those with the world. And when people are interested in them, you help them get results too. That's it. Pyramid scheme, I ask them if they know what a pyramid scheme is, and I do this in a polite way. I actually will say, like, pyramid schemes are actually illegal. I'm not sure if you've ever looked up one, but like Beachbody's been around for a long time, and if we were a pyramid scheme, we wouldn't be here still. And I will say, like, you know, the structure is in the shape of a pyramid where you're at the top. But I tell, like, any coach I sign that they have the potential to earn more than me, that they have the potential to outrank me. Like, that is why this isn't a pyramid scheme. I don't know enough people. And I'll say something like, how many people do you think you need to know to be successful? And then I'll talk with them about our trainings and how we are constantly, you know, sharing with our coaches social media trainings and how to grow, how to grow their network, how to add on Facebook, how to add on Instagram, and utilize like what they have. Timing isn't right for me to start. When would be the right time? And this is something I talk about, and I'll share my experience. Like, when I got started, life was hectic. But life is always going to be hectic if we allow it to be, right? Like, there's always going to be something else that comes up. So talking for me, I share that, like, I had that similar hesitation, like, maybe I should wait. So I'm out of grad school. Maybe I should do this, do that. And then the only regret I've ever had is that I didn't get started sooner, because I could only imagine where I could be in this business if I had even gotten started like 6 months sooner. I don't want to bother my friends. Same thing as before, like, without being a salesperson, we don't want you bothering your friends. Like, and this isn't about bothering. It's about you seeing results, you sharing that on social media, and you helping people that want the help. Okay, so that is all I have. Let me check out the chat. Yes. Thank you, Jordan. Does anyone have any questions or any objections that they've gotten, or something that I didn't touch on, or anything? I love all the new faces on here. I love all my old faces, but I love all the new ones too. You guys can unmute yourself, or you can type it in the chat. I feel like I drank Energize instead of Recharge, because I was like going.
I have a question. So obviously, I started out, and several of us did, in the gym, and then started doing at-home workouts. If somebody comes to you and then says they prefer the gym, what do you say back to them? Do you just like let it go, or?
No, what I always talk about is how what's awesome about our workouts is that they can be done from anywhere. That if you love the gym, it's a great opportunity. Like, you can take your phone and play it. You can print out the workout sheets. That I work out in the gym when I travel, but I have a trainer telling me what to do. Whereas if I didn't have Beachbody On Demand, I would go in there and run on the elliptical for 30 minutes and be like, I'm done. I got my workout in. So yeah, I just talk about how Beachbody On Demand is the total package. Like, guys can do body beats. Like, access to a gym is helpful for people who don't want to spend the money on weights. And you have access to a free gym, like, utilize it so that you don't have to spend the money. But that's typically what I talk about. And if someone's like, well, I just won't work out at home, or, starts giving me more objections about it, I'm like, you have to do what like works best for you. If this isn't a great option, but, and I have found that like people at one stage in their life won't mind going to the gym. And then when they get a job that's farther away, or they have kids and don't know what to do with their kids when they're at the gym, they remember that you work out from home, and that becomes way more appealing to a lot of people, like when they're at a different place in their life.
And I know, like I've been reaching back out to my people who did go to the gym and like a gym, or either they take classes and they just like classes, whatever. So I've been telling them about the 2B mindset, and like 2 of them got that yesterday. And they didn't get the workouts because one right now doesn't want to work out and one of them does classes. But I figured that was a start.
Yeah, and I mean, before 2B Mindset, I would also tell people, I mean, $160 for a month of Shakeology and just access for a year to all of our meal plans is worth it too. I mean, that's $30 for all of our meal plans. If you went to a nutritionist and had them come up with a meal plan for you, like, that would be really, really expensive to continuously be able to update, like, based on your goals. So yeah, that's a really good point. Kelly, did you have a question?
Yes, so I got this weird one. So I had this girl that I'd talked to before, and so I followed up with her a couple days ago, and she was like super interested. And then when I was telling her like everything she would get, she was like, well, I don't need the meal plan, so I'm not really interested. And like I tried to explain to her like, well, that's just going to make you more successful, but it's not mandatory. They just come with the programs. You don't necessarily have to follow them, blah, blah, blah. And like, I never heard back from her. Like, what do I say if somebody doesn't want the meal plans? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think you handled it correctly. I tell people, I have someone who's doing Weight Watchers that messaged me, and I'm like, you don't have to do it, but you have it. Like, it's included in the package that you're going to get. I mean, and then if you were to show her maybe breaking down the cost of everything and being like, Shakeology by itself is $129.85 plus shipping and tax. Like, our workouts for a year are $100. So like, you're just getting this like as an added bonus. So it's essentially free, whether you use it or not is up to you. I think you handled it well. I mean, if that's what deterred her, I don't know that she was convicted to join. But I mean, I think you handled it well. I think the only other thing that I might think about, depending on the conversation, was showing her the cost and like, but something else I meant to say earlier was, especially with like coaching objections and challenge group objections, if you find yourself spending so much time talking to one person, like, sometimes it's just a blessing that they don't sign up. Can I imagine sometimes the people that I'm talking to and how much they wear me out before they sign, or if they ever sign up with me. Like, once they sign up with you, it's your responsibility to help them. Like, so just think about, sometimes like, it might just be a blessing if they have this many objections, if they are this not on board with it. Do I really want them on my team? Do I really want their negativity in my group? Like, if they are coming in there with, well, I refuse to do the meal plans. Okay, like, that's cool. Like, everyone else is doing it, seeing results. So, I'm not telling you to just ignore people by any means, you guys, but I'm just saying sometimes, like, what's meant to be is to be. Like, so if they are that hard to convince and you're finding yourself convincing, like, sometimes you just gotta let them go. All right, I'm gonna look at the chat. I saw people. Amy said, I have 2 people from work tell me that Beachbody only works for those who are already skinny or fit, and it only works for you because you already run. I was so taken aback because it was so far from true. I didn't even know what to say. It made me nervous that others wouldn't take me seriously at work if the subject arises. So I have never heard that before, and I think a great tool to be able to use is just looking up like before and afters. If you go on, for one, we have people on this team who have lost 100 pounds or more, like with Beachbody. I've lost 40 plus pounds. Like, we have so many transformations. Our team, Shred Nation, actually has like in one of the pages a place where you can upload all your transformations. So this is completely, I'm just trying to give you tools to be able to use in the future, but Beachbody rewards someone with $100,000 every year for the biggest transformation, and typically these are like 150 to 160 pound like transformations. Like these are not small. And if you've looked at 2B Mindset, people in that test group lost 100 pounds and have kept it off. This is definitely not just for skinny people, and I think they've done a really good job at starting. Beachbody has gotten better at including like not super already skinny people in the before and after pictures that they use to advertise, as well as in the programs. But I think, again, that was a personal like jab at you because they're unhappy with themselves probably, and you are probably what they want to look like. And so it's a lot easier to try to tear you down than to admit that like this could potentially work for them. Once I said this earlier, objections say so much about the person that is speaking them, way more than it does you. If you listen to someone's objections, it's all their insecurities. It's all their worries about themselves, that they're not going to be able to stick with it this time, that it's only for skinny people. Like, what does their brain think they are if they think that this can't work for them because they're not skinny enough for it already? So I think just being confident with saying like, oh my gosh, like we have girls on our team that have lost blah, blah, blah. And, if you get into like the 2B Mindset coach group or the 80-day obsession coach group and things like that, you get access to all of the people's transformations. I used so many from 80-day obsession when I had women be like, it's not for like older people. I went in there and searched in the 80-day obsession group, 60 and older, or like whatever I was looking for. And I showed, like I grabbed their transformations and I showed them. But Beachbody truly is for everybody. And I think when the more confident you get, clearly you are a brand seeking new. When you get more confident with it and when you get more exposed to it, and when you have your first challenger that loses 40 plus pounds or 50 plus pounds or 100 pounds, like you'll have more confidence to be able to handle that. But I think all you can keep doing is showing that it works. Share transformations of your coaches and challengers as you start getting them on your social media. And those people are going to see those things, and maybe they won't ever sign up, but you can't be scared that nobody from work will like take you seriously. Like what we do is serious. We help people. Like we're not selling makeup. We're not, and I'm not bashing any of that. But like we truly, like we spend so much time working with people and making sure that their diabetes are getting better, or that like how many girls have I had in my group that couldn't get pregnant? Damn.